Whoa, so the guy who blew up the Tesla was a Trump supporter? That's what his family's saying. You mean just like the guy who tried to punch Trump's ticket last summer? Why does violence follow this guy?
I certainly don't incite violence.
Knock the crap out of him. I would have done well, but I would have been boom, boom, boom. I'll beat that.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe he should have been roughed up.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of him, would you? Seriously. I'd like to punch him in the face.
In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily.
Could it be that the First Lady and his cuckold quartet are stirring this shit up by themselves? By the way, the FBI says a New Orleans guy acted alone, which of course makes Republicans sad. They want so bad for it to be ISIS.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting. And they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You know, you think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
So the terrorist was hardcore MAGA, and the other guy, he was in the military, like Timothy McVeigh or Nichols. While law enforcement is looking for answers, Trump and his MAGA ballsack are just making it up. They'll stop at nothing to somehow blame Biden, Mexico, and Americans who don't look like Chachi. First, there's Miss Lindsay. She's upset that the media isn't calling this an ISIS-sponsored terror attack. But we don't know yet, do we, sweetheart?
As I watched coverage of this barbaric, cowardly attack that was ISIS-inspired, it was disturbing how far America has drifted from the fact that we are in a state of war with the radical Islamic forces. The coverage suggests we're fighting a crime and that ISIS-inspired attacks are mere criminal events, not part of a larger war on terrorism. Not part of a criminal enterprise. The tools designed to protect America in a time of war are being underutilized. I'm hoping President Trump will realize this key distinction.
Thanks, Miss Lindsay, but here's what we really know. In a series of videos, the man responsible for the New Year's attack discussed planning to kill his family and made references in the videos to his divorce and how he had first planned to gather his family for a celebration with the intention of killing them. That's not ISIS, that's America, baby. And this guy, the fat attack who says he's going to get every undocumented person in North America if he has to eat each one, he says he has a gut feeling the two attacks were coordinated.
Well, look, I think the further the investigation goes, I think they are going to find a connection between the two incidents. But look, they're both suicide events. The man in New Orleans certainly had no plans of going home for getting out and trading gunfire with law enforcement. So I think both these men realized they weren't going home after this event. But the threats aren't over. I've been on this network for 4 years talking about the threats coming across our southern border. And, you know, we got a record number of known gotaways. Over 2 million people enter this country. We don't know who they are or where they came from or what their purpose to come to this country. They weren't vetted, they weren't screened, they weren't fingerprinted. We don't know who they are. And since the Border Patrol and CBP arrested over 300, well over 300 people on terrorist watch list, how many of that 2.2 million who escaped apprehension, who escaped vetting, who escaped fingerprinting, came from a country sponsoring terror? Even Christopher Wray, the director of FBI, said numerous times under testimony in front of Congress that this is the biggest national security vulnerability he's seen. I agree with him. And despite what's happened the last 2 days in Las Vegas and in New Orleans, this administration is not stopping. They're still releasing thousands of people every week through the CBP One app, the CHMV program, and Border Patrol continues to release people in this country without proper vetting. This is not a good thing, and I can't wait for the new administration to take power and secure this border and protect our national security.
Well, he does have a gut that could hold a few attacks, but that's not what the FBI is supposed to do. Go on TV and cause a panic, insinuating, like Miss Lindsay, that we're being attacked by the Middle East when we aren't.
So we're not out of the woods. This country's in grave danger. We need to secure that border.
Then there's a Reverend Mike Johnson suggesting, like the other First Lady, that our open border policy is responsible for the 2 Americans attacking Americans. That's like blaming your hand for masturbating too hard.
And the FBI was off doing all these various and sundry things, putting their emphasis in their investigations and their eye on, conservative Catholics and concerned parents at school board meetings and all these other things. They tried to convince us that the greatest threat to the homeland was racially motivated extremism, when we all looked at the wide open border and thought logically that that might lead to terrorist attacks in the future. We need a dramatic change, and this emphasizes once again why this election was so important to the country, and we cannot get President Trump here soon enough.
Then there's this.
Looking at increasing the footprint, certainly expanding the road closures throughout the day tomorrow. Look, I think it's important to remember that the only way to really protect people from evil is to crush it. And the one person who knows how to do that is the incoming President Donald Trump. And I believe that his nominee, Kristi Noem, understands that as well. I look forward to Inauguration Day so that we put in place policies where we're putting handcuffs on the bad guys instead of our law enforcement.
So the Louisiana governor, Jeff Landry, says the only way to defeat evil is with a guy who cheated on all his wives, who was found liable of sexual assault, convicted of 34 felonies, and incited insurrection against America.
And we got to fight like hell.
But this might be the most evil and obscene angle to this violence of the last 48 hours.
You have schools that are teaching kids to hate their country.
Oklahoma Schools Chief Ryan Walters, the dude that wanted to put Trump Bibles in every classroom, he's blaming teachers for the terrorism in the world. I shit you not.
That this country is evil. You have the teachers' unions pushing this on our kid. The radical left wants people to hate this country. They've completely destroyed the integrity of the FBI by making them more concerned about DEI than about protecting Americans. It's a major part of this. And look, this is a real uncomfortable truth. I know the left is going to lose their mind, but listen, we cannot allow our schools to become terrorist training camps.
Shut your hole, you ignorant hillbilly. What this redneck wants to do is erase history. Erase the part where his parents screamed at little black girls simply trying to go to school, or their black mothers sitting in the front of a bus, or their grandfathers being lynched for whistling at a white woman.
We cannot allow our schools to teach our kids to hate this country. We cannot allow our kids to teach that this is an evil country. That's why we are getting back to the basics here in Oklahoma to make sure that our kids love this country, understand American values, understand the role that the Constitution, the Bible, the Declaration of Independence played in American history, because we want patriots. And that's got to be the focus of our school.
Not in my country, you tree-humping redneck.
Because we want patriots.
Trump is a danger in every way you can be, but it's his followers who claim to love Jesus who are the biggest threat.
The little Twitter trolls, they like to say, oh, Jesus didn't need an AR-15. How many AR-15s do you think Jesus would have had? Well, he didn't have enough to keep his government from killing him.
Hey, look, if we make it through the next 4 years, and that's a tough bet, it'll be because MAGA starts to realize the churches they attend have a New Testament that will look at their words and actions as blasphemy, that the real evil isn't coming across our borders, but through their sick interpretations of Christianity.
If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with the woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death.
Trump inspires violence, and one can only hope his people stop listening.
Damn right.
Tick-tock! This is not a normal election.
Yes!
That is crazy!
Woo-hoo! This isn't their Republican Party anymore!
They're eating the dogs.
You're an idiot!
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Dan.
Who's with me? Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donna.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.